Hi guys, it's Kathy. I hope you're doing well. So who else was worried that I wasn't going to be able to find any content in 4 hours to be able to start a live stream? Don't worry, don't worry. It always falls right in my lap though. So gonna we're gonna have a live stream, even though we just had a live stream. But that live stream didn't really count, right? Did it count? It wasn't even, no, I had to find content. I scrambled. I had all the computers going at once on double speed to find something for today. Maiko, I am positive I'm talking for everyone. When we truly want to see you super excited parading around in your underwear. Just so super happy. All right. This woman has a decision to make.
032501F55.
Can't hear her very well, but you can hear the judge fine. Don't worry. That's right. It doesn't count, Marty.
I apologize. 2408 F6199 is the cause number. That is State of Indiana v. Jennifer Japa. She's with us in court in person, as well as the state here by Chief Deputy Prosecuting Attorney Nicholas Langowski. Ms. Japa is self-represented at this time and has been circling around hiring an attorney in this case. We had a status hearing June 12th, where this case was moved to today, and then a pretrial conference was scheduled for June 26th, which was also essentially today's date. So what has been the process of hiring the attorney, or your thoughts on representation? What's your understanding of whether you'll be represented by an attorney or not?
Well, I had somebody lined up, and when I was here the last time, he wasn't able to make it. He said he'd injured his back and wanted me to let him know what happened. I had to leave him a message, and he sent me a message back via text saying,
We know you, Eileen.
That
We know you.
Talk to you soon. A few days ago, he tells me his back is still a mess and that he will not be able to represent me. So.
It took you considerable time to line up his representation, and my concern is then it's going to take you more time to hire a different attorney. But I also don't want to proceed with you self-represented while you are wanting the assistance of an attorney. Have you called any attorneys other than him since then?
Not since then, because I figured he was going to be able to help me out. I did get someone to call me back. When I called, I don't remember the name, and said, "Well, he's busy right now. Could you give him his voicemail? Voicemail box is full." Like, I was like, "Yeah, you got this guy to call me." I had one that called me back, and he said he couldn't help me.
What is it you would like to do this morning?
You got to pay them, lady. You got to give them money.
I don't know.
No, it's just my camera. It's just added yellow.
You say
You know, we went all those months with like no yellow. Now my camera is just adding yellow to everything. I don't get it. I don't even care. That's just the way life goes.
I don't know what to do anymore.
Are you still wanting to be represented by an attorney?
If I can find somebody that will give me the time of day. But it doesn't seem like I'm having any luck with that one.
I can provide you more time if you deem that that's what you need to try to call attorneys.
I won't get anywhere.
I can give you a series of options, and you can select these options, but I also can't tell you what to do or what not to do.
Extra cheese, no pickle.
The first is that you continue working to hire private counsel. I give you some time to do that, and then we'll discuss that time frame. The second option is, based on the fact that you're asking to be represented, or you want to be represented, but have not been able to secure counsel, you did post a bond, and so I would find that you have some ability to pay for representation, and then I appoint you an attorney, and that attorney is essentially appointed and told they will represent you, and then some portion of your bond will be to pay for their fees. I also have to continue the case because they'll need to get involved in the case, receive discovery, speak to you about that discovery, and speak to you about any sort of agreement with the state if there is one. The other option is that you continue representing yourself, and then we talk about how it is that we resolve this case, whether that be a trial or whether we are looking to set some further hearing with you representing yourself. Those are essentially my three options at this point. I'll leave it to you on which one you pick.
I don't know what's my best option. Interest.
I presume that is a rhetorical statement because I told you that I could not answer or provide you
Right,
that
I get
type
that.
of.
The whole thing of it is, I'm not stupid, but I'm having a little trouble navigating a system I'm unfamiliar with. And I've also have gotten information piecemeal. So I don't always get my questions answered. That's why I ask a lot of questions. And I'm sure you're probably aware that there are times I have difficulty expressing myself. And I have a tendency to trip over my words. So I might say things that sound
I words great.
And
I words goodly all the time. Words goodly.
Just how my brain operates. And it's been like this with me for a long time. And sometimes I seemed a little scatterbrained. That's just how it is. There's certain things that I remember, and there's other things I don't. So I don't know what to do.
Hi, Chris.
Ms. Japa, I've remained silent there for about 20 seconds on purpose.
It was literally 7, Judge. Your poor wife.
Because that decision must come from you. I can give you about a minute to collect yourself and make that decision. Now that I've outlined what your options essentially are. But I cannot make that decision for you, and I also cannot allow you to leave without having some clear decision made. What I'm going to do, Ms. Japa, is I'm going to go off the record. It's 11:16 a.m. I'm going to ask that you go into the hallway, sit there for a moment. I've given you your options, collect your thoughts, come back in the courtroom, And then I'm going to need you to make a decision of whether you want to hire private counsel and have more time to do that, have me appoint you an attorney, understanding some portion of your bond will go towards that attorney, but you will have representation, and then continuing the dates so that that attorney can be involved. Or the third option is you represent yourself, where then we move forward with either a trial or some further hearing to try to resolve this case. So those are your three options.
I know,
I've
Leonard,
outlined them again.
very well.
Before I take this break, we'll go off the record. Bailiff, could you have her go into the hallway? Just have a seat to collect yourself. It's not punishment. I have no other hearings to conduct. I just don't want you to have to sit here with our looming presence where you make your decision.
Would it be okay if I use the restroom?
If you need to,
Yeah, so I've been sitting here for over 2 hours and I'm a coffee drinker, so it's kind of going through me.
go ahead and use the restroom, and then don't leave yet. Come right back up to the court. By then, you'll have enough
Do what I do during my streams and just let it go a little bit at a time. It evaporates before the next little time, and you're fine.
time to consider.
Do I just walk in or?
Just have a seat in the lobby, and then we'll
Okay,
call
so
you
not
back in.
see me. All right, give me a couple of minutes.
Welcome back, Ms. Japa. This is 5003-2408 F6199. We took a brief recess to allow Ms. Japa to use the restroom as well as to develop a decision in what she'd like to do. I provided her 3 options that the court was satisfied with to move this case to disposition. First off, Ms. Japa, do you need me to go over those options again?
Would you please?
First option is that you hire private counsel. You have to do that with your own funds and on your own time, and I provide you some time to do that. You have not hired private counsel thus far and have expressed considerable problems with hiring private counsel in a timely manner. Second option is that because you want the representation of an attorney, I note that. I also find that you have some ability to pay for representation, and that's based on your bond, and then appoint you an attorney to represent you. And the attorney would notify you and speak to you about the case, receive discovery from the state, begin representation, and they then would be paid some portion of the bond, but it would be a lesser amount than any private counsel would. Under the second option, I have to continue the case because the attorney needs to be involved. The third option is that you continue representing yourself, and you would not have representation of an attorney at that point, and we would have to move the case forward to either a trial or future hearing dates to get the case resolved with input from the state of Indiana.
Ask you as far as just curious. If you were appointing somebody, do you have a name in mind? I just like to know, that's all.
Well, given this is a level 6 felony, I have 2 attorneys that receive appointments for level 6 felonies, and so it'd be one of those 2 attorneys.
Do you have a name? Do you have their names, or are you able to give me their names or not?
Aaron,
I'm just curious. Like I said, I'm just trying to navigate all this because this is not familiar to me.
Aaron Harshman or Adrian Ariano.
I have one other, maybe somebody that my brother knows, possibly, but as far as private counsel, let's see if I can get in touch with him.
Hi, Terry. Marge, if I knew you were coming, I would have put something orange on.
Talks about
That was my mistake.
the self-representation. Can I ask what's usually involved in I want to know. And this is my life. You have no idea what happened because of all this. And I know these people don't care. I'm nothing to anybody. But I have suffered a great loss, whether you realize that or not. And I don't ever seem to get the help when I need it. That's the reason I'm in the position I'm in right now. What usually happens for people that
World's smallest violin. What usually happens to people who represent themselves? Can you answer that for me? Oh, yeah. Any one of us can answer that for you. All of us can answer that for you. Judge isn't going to, though, guys. Don't worry. Judge isn't going to say dumbasses go to jail.
We're not.
You've asked me two questions. First was, what does self-representation entail? What does that look like? How do you do that, essentially, is the first question. Then you just followed up with a second question of what usually happens to people that are self-represented, which is a separate question from the first. I'll address the second one first. I cannot answer in the sense of what usually happens with self-represented individuals because every case is unique, and so every individual is unique. So their representation of themselves affected how they then had the outcome, and they're not going to be the ones representing you. So your representation is what dictates the response in this case if you begin self-representation. That's the second question. The first question is you become an attorney in your own defense, essentially, meaning you have to file motions, any motions that you deem appropriate. You have to then investigate, you have to conduct discovery, you have to do your own arguing, you have to do your own research, and then you have to present yourself to the court and or to a jury. There's a lot of nuance in all of what I just said, and it would take me a very, very long time to tell you all about what self-representation is. As I've told you in previous hearings, I'll reiterate today, I cannot be the one that tells you what to do. You would be the one deciding that. And so I would refer you to the trial rules and the rules of criminal procedure, and then you could determine what you deem appropriate moving forward. But that is the best answer I can give you on what self-representation looks like.
And how often does that typically happen? How often does somebody represent themselves? I mean, based on your experience?
Well, it is very sporadic. Meaning
I know what happens.
there's no consistent regularity of people representing themselves. They just arise, the case is handled and resolved, and then we move forward. It's a minority of the cases, undoubtedly. So within the last year, I've probably had 6 to 10 self-represented individuals.
Were they able to, if I can ask this, were they able to get it done for themselves? Were they successful?
I really can't answer that question because that is a subjective question asking me to speculate on what they wanted out of the case and also whether they actually got that thing, which I can't know the thing they wanted. Mm-hmm. So.
I've heard people not nobody personally know what that's happened to. I'm just curious by nature. So I ask a lot of questions, and I know it irritates a lot of people because I do this. This is how my brain is wired. And sometimes I say things, and people think I'm making the stories up. Just because of how I am. I am making up. It's just what happens.
Let's get back to the 3 options. What would you like to do, Ms. Japa?
Well, if it's okay, I'll try the first option. I want to get a hold of my brother and see if he can give me the name of this person he knows. I
Can
tried
you-
doing things on my own and I just wasn't successful. Well, somewhat.
Can you do that in 30 days?
Providing I can get somebody to call me back, possibly. I don't have the same roadblocks like I usually do. But actually, I thought I had somebody hired last fall. That didn't work out either.
What I'm going to do, Ms. Japa, then is based on your request, continue today's date and set a status hearing for July 31st, 2025 at 9 a.m. That gives you a little over a month to call and speak to attorneys. What I can tell you, Ms. Japa, is if you've not hired an attorney by July 31st, I will schedule a trial in the case.
And if that's the case, then what I'm separating represented.
Either that or you'll have appointed counsel to represent you.
Somebody can write up for me, so I kind of know what. Sometimes I walk out of here.
I don't know.
You just say
So I believe my bailiff can write the hearing date for
the
you.
date and then say, if you don't have somebody by this date, then this is what's next. Just something brief.
I kind of like that.
You've just reiterated it. Seems as though you.
Terry.
I don't know how to hear, I'm gonna say what did I
It's
say?
Terry with an I. Terry.
Happens all the time.
Can you put me a status hearing form? Mr. Langowski, feel free to leave if you need appropriate, or if you deem appropriate. I'm simply going to complete a status hearing form for her and then provide it to her. But I'll be continuing to July 30th.
Yo, I feel like I'm being trolled in chat right now. No, I'm not. I feel like I am being trolled and I'm not. But it's fine.
1st, 2025 at 9 a.m. We'll get you some paperwork on your way out. I'm going to write essentially what was ordered here today, and then we'll give you a copy of that so you'll have it as you leave. I'm also going to have my bailiff provide you
Fucking
a listing of
stupid.
local attorneys
Stupid.
so that you have that as a resource to
You can't be that stupid.
contact those individuals. You mentioned calling your own attorneys and struggling to hear back from them. And so I just encourage you to draw upon that resource that my bailiff provides you, as well as your brother who might know an attorney, and any other resource on the process of hiring an attorney.
But I'm a lady. All right, hold on. Oh gosh, no, we still have 3 minutes of her trying to decide if she's leaving or not. Okay, well, this is enough. I have to check something and I can't wait 3 minutes. What the heck is this, guys? Live right now, right now.
That is why it can become quite complicated once you're dealing with sexual harassment, because
Does anybody know what this is? I can't pronounce it. Or if it's that's not the right word. I am so sorry if I just offended someone by saying that. I did not mean it. It just came out. Is this a major tribunal hearing? Or is this not? This is actually nothing. I don't know. I think like this is South Africa, right? I think.
saying no to somebody who is your senior is difficult. Firstly, it is an inversion of the relationship as to who directs or instructs and who follows instructions. So for a junior person to tell a senior person, it can be a very difficult thing to do precisely because there is that inversion. The other thing is, what are the consequences of me saying no to somebody who holds a higher position in the hierarchy than I do? If I say no, I am their junior, will they take me seriously? And what are the consequences? Can this person victimize me? Can they make my work uncomfortable? Can they ask me to go and start doing work that I don't want to do? Can they start taking away workplace opportunities from me? Can they start speaking to me in a way that is extremely uncomfortable and makes my work miserable?
Some people in chat can. I don't, and that's not good enough for me to stop a stream for, I don't think. That what she just said there. Workplace issues, that's not good enough. That's not good enough for. No, they can't, because if they put a camera in there, then they are the criminal. They are the criminal. All right. I have one that's 13 minutes long that only that only me and Micah will like. And literally we will only like the one sentence. And the one sentence doesn't come until like minute 11. I want to do that. I'm not gonna do that yet. Let's go. Okay. I know that nobody here remembers. Nobody. Back when I first started, there was this judge, Judge Fink from Indiana, and he delivered the best reprimand that I have ever seen a judge ever deliver to this day. And he was amazing, and it was jaw-dropping. And I mean, he reamed this guy out for violating probation again. Ever since then, this was in 2023. Ever since then, I keep peeking at Judge Fink's stream, hoping to get that judge. He's there. He just hasn't done it again. Not even once. Nothing even close. But we're gonna go to that judge. Now he doesn't give a great reprimand like he did in 2023. Man, I wish he would. But we're actually got the last few seconds of one clip, and then the next clip is what we're gonna watch.
I'll tell you the best way you can thank me is stay out of trouble, get these taken care of, move on.
Judge Link, not Judge Fink. That's the other judge.
On with your life, okay?
I got you, Your Honor. Thanks.
All right, good luck.
Yep. There.
Thank you, Father.
I got it. Write down my court date, please.
State of Indiana versus Germaine Allison, 4604 2412 F6 1650. Mr. Allison appears by video without counsel, status of counsel. Mr. Allison, have you bonded out in your Superior 1 cases or no?
No, sir.
Are you going to hire your own attorney in this case?
Why don't you sit up and quit disrespecting the judge, sir?
Or do you need one appointed to you?
I need one appointed to me, sir.
And you have an attorney appointed to you in Superior 1, correct?
Yes, sir.
Have you been incarcerated since Mr. Phillips was appointed to you?
Yes, sir.
All right. Court finds Mr. Allison indigent.
Can I get a fast and speedy trial, though?
On this one?
Yes, sir.
All right. Points public defender. Need a trial date, please.
Did you address this bond yet, Your Honor? I'm sorry. Did you do that?
I haven't. It's 200 cash. It was set back. on May 9th.
Very good.
Unless you want me to OR, that's up to you.
I believe he still has a pretty significant bond over in Superior One.
$37,505 to be exact.
So you're agreeable to OR, Bob?
The bond is Superior One. I didn't hear that. I'm sorry.
It's $37,505 in Superior One.
Stay with OR, Mr. Allison.
Yeah.
All right.
In this cause, of course.
So Mr. Allison, you are OR'd in this case.
And this is the double
24/12,
average, right?
1650, so you're no longer eligible for a speedy trial.
Okay. that all?
So Public Defender's Office will get a hold of you through the jail.
Is this case dismissed though?
No?
So I'm just OR right now?
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you.
Your next court date is August 19th, 2025 at 12:45 PM. Time charged to defendant. All right, you're excused.
All right, thank you.
Well,
Bye, Judge Link. It was nice to
That is
see
it
you
for the drill,
again.
Your Honor. Thank you.
It was lovely to see you again. I wish you would be the man you were in 2023, though. Let's go to Georgia. Georgia. July. I got a question for the people in the United States, because the people outside, no, not just the people in the United, I got a question. I got a question. I don't feel I have an accent. What words does it? I know it must be my crappy laptop. It has to be. It's because this is not. I thought it was all the Colorado judges. It's not, because this is Georgia. Hold on 1 second. So it must be my crappy laptop. What words do I say that I have an accent? We have a clipped accent. For what word? Like car, if you watch TV, like I feel like I have the exact same accent as you see in normal TV shows. A general American accent is what I think I have. So I'm wondering what accent I have. I have accent, like what words? Like I know you two have an accent. You have a Southern accent, and you know you do. Right? Like you know you have a Southern accent, right, Bazzi? The word that I have an accent is an accent? Accent? Well, it's not a scent. Okay. Accent is not said right. Well, it's said wrong. I'm gonna press play. Just press play. This guy's entertaining.
Okay, she would go down to 120. You living in Milledgeville?
I'm still in Milledgeville. Same address. Nah, but look, 90 to 120.
They're checking out, no, she won't do 90 to 120. She'll do.
All right, this is Mr.
Oh, I ain't gonna mess up.
Okay, so she'll give you the 4 moments.
He's on page 2.
Yes. Yeah.
Wait, I thought he was talking about DRC in Milledgeville.
They don't have one.
They don't
Yeah,
have.
I got reliable transportation. I got my truck.
You can come to DRC here.
Yeah, I did. If I don't, my mama will make sure I get here.
Okay. Will y'all?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure. All right, so we can agree to basically the 4 months PDC. If you screw up, you're gonna be there 6 months. But if you don't screw up, we'll go back. See, and then RSET suspended by DRC here. Right?
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
You gotta do everything right.
Yeah, got
Okay.
you.
Okay. Your Honor,
Hey,
this-
look. Can I get my days out? My 50
He's
days
just
out?
so loud.
we can ask the judge for that, but
Okay.
there, she's kind of already given you that. Because it was gonna be 180 and she knocked it down to 120, so 60, 180 minus 60. Okay.
Try.
What black box? What are you talking about?
Sure you won't do the 90? Okay, she won't do it.
Thank you.
Your Honor, this will be an admit and agree with one asking about the PDC if he can get times.
All right. And what is the recommendation going to be?
Your Honor, that he be revoked to the Probation Detention Center for 120 to 180 days, followed by GDC RSAT suspended on successful completion of the Washington County DRC program.
And Ms. Carr, that you're going to make one additional argument, is that correct?
We agree with that completely, except for the fact that he has done about 50 days in county. And so he would like credit for that in relation to the PDC, but full disclosure.
I fixed that spot.
We started at 170, 180. And so negotiation has brought it down to 120. So in some ways, the DA has already given credit for time served, but he did want me to mention that as well.
All right. All right, Mr. Pronounce your last name for me, sir.
Foston.
Foston, just like it's spelled. All right, very good. This is case number 2022-114, State versus Germaine Foston. I know that Mr. Foston is seated at counsel table with his attorney, Ms. Carr. Mr. Foston, your case is on my probation revocation calendar today. And as I understand the situation, you and Ms. Carr in the DA's office have been discussing your case and have reached this joint recommendation of a PDC stay with suspended RSAT and then return you to active through the DRC program here in Washington County with this additional thing about some credit. Is that the agreement that you made before you came out here, Mr. Foston?
Just made it when I came out here.
Wait, now say that again.
I just made it when I came out here to the table. But
Yeah,
we discussed in the back, but I just made the agreement once I came out here.
Okay, that is your agreement.
Yes,
Okay,
yes, sir.
that's what I needed to know. All right, Mr. Foston, well, that's fine. And before I can get to the disposition though, and get to this issue of this credit, I have to first go through a process with you where I ask you a series of questions to make sure that you understand all the details of this, but just as important that you understand
It's from Doctor Who. It's from Doctor Who.
and all of the rights that you'll be giving up if you complete this process here today. If
Well,
at
he's
any
trying
point during this
to.
process you don't understand my questions or you need some more time to talk to Ms. Carr, just let me know and I'll give you all the time that you need within reason. Do you understand everything so far?
Yes, sir.
As best you're able, please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm under penalty of perjury that the testimony you give here today shall be the truth?
Yes, sir.
You put your hand down. Mr. Foston, do you understand this is a probation modification proceeding?
Yes, sir.
And do you understand the sentence recommendation that's been discussed here today?
Yes, sir.
Before the
I
court
love
can
Dr.
decide to
Ho.
determine whether
I love
to
it.
accept this recommendation, the court must first determine that you are making a knowing, intelligent, and voluntary waiver of all of your rights, that you know and understand what you're doing, and that you're doing it of your own free will. So it's vitally important that you speak up if something happens that you don't understand. You understand everything so far?
Yes, sir.
I have some preliminary questions to ask you first. However, are you now under the influence of any intoxicants like alcohol, drugs, narcotics, or prescription medications?
Yes, sir.
Is your mind clear today?
Yes, sir.
Do you know where you are and what you are doing?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand the court does not have to accept the sentence recommendation?
Yes, sir.
Other than the sentence recommendation, has anyone promised you anything to get you to agree to this modification?
No, sir.
Other than the, let me back up. Has anyone threatened you or frightened you to force you to make these admissions today?
No, sir.
According to this petition, your original sentence was dated January 31, 2025, at which time you received a total, it looks like of
Georgia. You have to wait till they say July so I can prove it. Oh, don't blink.
30 years, therefore, with a whole bunch of conditions. But as I understand it, your original sentence is set to expire on June the 18th, 2053. Do you understand that, Mr. Foston?
Yes, sir.
Do you also understand that instead of agreeing to your probation being modified as you're doing now, that you have the right to demand a formal hearing before this court in which the state of Georgia must prove that you have violated the terms and conditions of your probation by what is called a preponderance of the evidence, which means more likely than not. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir. I
If you-
understand.
Very good. If you would demand such a formal probation revocation or modification hearing, Georgia law guarantees you the right to confront and question all witnesses who testify against you. You have the right to subpoena your own witnesses and evidence in your behalf and to offer these witnesses and evidence at the hearing. You have the right.
Honestly, I can't remember this judge's name and I play him all the time. It's something, and I know what it is. I can't remember it.
To the continued assistance
He's really
of your
good.
lawyer at all stages of the hearing. You have the right to testify yourself if you wanted to, and the right not to incriminate yourself. You may testify or not, and you personally will decide if you testified or not. If you do not testify, which is your right under Georgia law, then the court cannot use that decision against you in any way. Mr. Foston, do you understand
Yes, sir.
that by making this agreement today, you are agreeing to give up this formal hearing and all of these rights? Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Now, you're represented
Don't
here today by
blink.
Ms. Carr, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
That's the first thing you say when someone talks about weeping angels. Don't blink. Now I'm sad. I miss Rory. I miss Amy. The angels. The angels got them. They were horrible. Yeah, I will take a Dalek over a weeping angel any day of the week. Give me a Cyberman any day of the week, but no, not the angels. I hated Tom Baker at first. He grew on me, but I hated him. But I cannot pick my favorite doctor. It changes almost weekly. I love them all.
If you had enough time to talk to her about this case,
Yes, sir.
do you need any more time to talk to her about this case?
No, sir.
Do you have any objections about how your case has been handled up to this point?
No, sir.
All right, Mr. Foston, do you freely and voluntarily admit the facts about how you violated the terms and conditions of your probation as set out in the 3 counts as described in this petition? Do you admit those violations today, Mr. Foston?
Yes, sir.
Because he was so rude. He was so rude.
All right, anything else from either side before we
Forceful.
go? Or anything you want to add, Ms. Carr?
No, Your Honor.
Do you have any questions, Mr. Foston?
No, sir.
All right, now make sure I understand this correct, Ms. Carr. There was this reflection in the recommendation, but you were going to ask for some additional credit, or you just?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Your Honor, it was basically additional credit. Just, he wanted to ask if he could have a little bit less, maybe something like 90 to 120 instead of 120 to 180.
All right. Anything to add from the state?
No, Your Honor, we took the time that he served into consideration, which is how we got to the 120 to 180. We believe that he needs some time to sober up and
I'm sober.
be in custody in order to be able to come back and be ready for the DRC program.
I'm sober, guys. I just popped that over here to cover this black spot to see if it was when I played a video. I know I put some Groot up and everything and that covered it, but I wanted to know if it was whenever I played a video but no, it's not.
Actually,
How long has he been in custody?
I'm sober.
May 16th.
Okay. All right, let me get my findings out of the way before I forget to do it. The court finds that Mr. Foston has decided to knowingly, intelligently, and voluntarily give up his rights to a formal probation modification hearing. The court does accept his admission to the factual violations as a sufficient basis for the petition. And well, let me just say this, Mr. Foston. I detected there's been a lot of back and forth about your case and that it's been reflected in the recommendation. I understand that, but I want to make sure you understand something as well. These PDCs are ranges. You know, I don't have the keys to the PDC. I don't make the final decision. PDC makes that decision, not me. Make sure you understand that. It could be 120 or anywhere. I don't know what they're going to do.
It's based on my behavior.
Well, that's a large part of it. You understand that?
Yes, I've been to like 8 of them.
I got you.
And it didn't help.
All right. Well, the court. I'll accept the recommendation. I'll just let them figure it out. But a lot of it depends on you, Mr. Foston. So that will be the sentence of the court as per the recommendation, and that you do the PDC and then return suspended RSAT, suspended upon no further violations, no new criminal charges, and no new felony charges, most certainly, and then return you to active supervision at DRC here in Washington County. You understand all that, Mr. Foston?
Yes, sir.
All right. Very good. Good luck to you, Mr. Foston. Thank
It
you,
was
sir.
Eccleston. Chris Eccleston. Yeah, Chris.
do better. Thank you.
23 CR 660, entry of appearances, please.
Wesley Stafford for the people.
Your Honor, good afternoon. Court-appointed counsel Thomas Ramunda, present with Mr. Crete.
All right, we are set today for arraignment. Mr. Ramunda, how did you want to proceed?
So, Your Honor, this case has been going on a while. There's been issues looked into, explored, several bouts with different offers with the district attorney's office. I have it in a posture that I think, well, I'm not going to say a whole lot about that, but Mr. Crete wants to go to trial. I told him we would set it for trial today, but now he's expressing to me in the hallway that he wants a different attorney. He doesn't believe I'll represent his best interests. So I don't know if we need an official burger root hearing, but that's kind of where things are today. I was prepared to enter a not guilty and set for trial until I saw Mr. Crete about 10 minutes ago.
All right, Mr. Crete, how do you want to proceed?
Well, I would really like another representative, whether I have to pay for it or not. I just feel like he's not doing due diligence or just even like selling me out. I think I'd be better off having a district attorney represent me. That's how I feel.
All right, well, Mr. Crete, the court's not going to appoint you different counsel unless there's a conflict. So Mr. Crete, how do you want to proceed? Are you looking to hire counsel or?
I guess so, yes.
Or, all right.
I'll see what I can do. I'll hire one. I guess I have to because I got to do something because I'm not being represented fairly. I'm not.
All right, without going into details, Mr. Ramunda, do you believe that there is a conflict?
I think the relationship has gotten to the point where we probably have such differences that it would be impossible for me to represent him effectively, plus the feelings he has towards me. So there's potentially, whether or not it meets the burger root standard, I'm not sure we're quite there. But he may have the resources, Your Honor. I know he works. That was part of the mitigation I was presenting. So he may have the ability to hire private counsel. It might be a moot point. But otherwise, yeah, I think we would have to. I can't officially say there's a conflict. I would need a brief burger root presentation.
All right, so I guess the question, Mr. Crete, is how do you want to proceed? Do you want to hire counsel? And if you're requesting a continuance to hire counsel, that's one thing. If you're requesting a burger root hearing, and I don't know, Mr. Ramunda, if you want to do that in front of a different judicial officer, or if you want to do it in front of me, I think it's difficult today to be able to do it, but.
Right, and typically, Your Honor, I think it's better in front of a neutral tribunal. That's just my experience over the years. No offense. I mean, I think it just plays out better that way.
All right. There are no other, I think I am the only district court judge who is here today.
Yeah.
We couldn't do it today. So I guess, Mr. Crete, how do you want to proceed? Do you want to proceed with a burger root hearing where a different judicial officer will determine if there's a conflict, or do you want to set over so that you can hire counsel?
I'll hire counsel.
You want to hire counsel. All right. People's position?
No objection to a short reset for him to attempt to hire counsel.
All right. Mr. Crete.
So Donald, every time, oh, I don't have comments shown, so you can't see what I see. But if you look, Donald, randomly, every time you see one of my comments show up here from Twitch, but not YouTube as well, you'll see how many of my comments YouTube yeets every stream. It's a lot.
I'm gonna, based on that, allow Mr. Ramunda to withdraw from your case based on your record that you're going to hire an attorney. Mr. Crete, how soon can you hire an attorney?
I'll try within the next 20 to 30 days.
All right. I can offer August 15th at 9:30.
Can you do in the afternoon? Because I live in Arvada and it's harder for me to get there.
August 15th at 1:30.
Okay.
All right, and Mr. Crete, if you hire counsel before then and they're not able to accept that date, have that attorney reach out to our division and we can reset it on your attorney's schedule.
Okay.
All right, anything else that we can address in Mr. Crete's matter today?
No.
Idiot. He's an idiot.
All right.
Can you address that?
Thank you.
She is an interpreter, but the interpretation went it was frustrating and it wasn't interesting. like, it's fine if it's interesting and frustrating, but when it's just boring and frustrating, no. So I didn't get that for us. All right. Me and Micah are going to enjoy one sentence of this whole clip, but you guys can come along for the ride.
Court calls this time State versus Ricardo D. Hegs. That's you, sir?
Yes, sir.
I'll note for the record that Mr. Hegs is seated at council table with Ms. Carr. And what's the announcement on these two cases, Ms. Carr?
Well, do you agree to 2 years or you want me to do the argument? I think it'll be an admit and argue, Your Honor.
Admit and what?
Argue,
Admit and argue. All right.
unless the DA changes their mind that it might be agreement. And I believe, Your Honor, just to give light at the end of the tunnel, that this will be the last thing with us.
The last what?
This is the last thing with us today.
Oh, okay. I got you. All right. What is the state's recommendation going to be?
Your Honor, that he be revoked to prison for 2 years.
And terminate? Or revoke?
Michael never even gets mad, more or less cry, ever.
To 2 years to prison and then what?
Return to active
Oh,
probation. Your
okay.
Honor.
Because I was gonna say, we would take that if it was terminated.
Well, hold on just a second. Let me write all this down. And you're going to ask or argue for something different.
I am, Your Honor. We're gonna argue for 1 year. We're about 1 year to prison.
Okay.
It's a very strange situation.
All right, Mr. Hegs, it appears that you and your attorney, Ms. Carr, have been discussing your cases with the DA's office and have got an agreement to the extent that you are expected today to admit the factual allegations of these petitions. And then there will be a argument or presentment to the court about how to dispose of the case, with the state recommending 2 years to serve with the Department of Corrections and then return you to active, and you and your attorney are going to argue for something different, something less, and the court will have to make a decision. Do you understand all that, Mr. Hegs?
Yes, sir.
And is that the agreement that you've made today for the court to make the decision?
Yes, sir.
Well, before I can get to the disposition, they get to that point, I have to first go through a process with you where I ask you a series of questions to make sure that you understand all the details of this, but just as important, that you understand all the rights that you'll be giving up if you make these admissions here today as to these factual allegations. If at any point during this process you don't understand my questions or you need some more time to talk to Ms. Carr, just let me know and I give you all the time that you need within reason. Do you understand everything so far?
Yes, sir.
All right, as best you're able, please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm under penalty of perjury that the testimony you give here today shall be the truth?
Yes, sir.
You can put your hand down. Mr. Hegs, do you understand that this is a probation, revocation, or modification proceeding?
Yes, sir.
And do you understand the recommendation that the state has made to revoke 2 years to serve and then return you to active? Do you understand that recommendation?
Listen right now.
Yes, sir.
All right, and that you and Ms. Carr are going to ask for something different. I understand that. Yes, ma'am. Okay. Before the court can get to that point in the proceedings, though, the court has to first determine that you have made a knowing, intelligent, and voluntary waiver of all of your rights to this hearing, and that you know what you're doing and that you're doing it of your own free will. So you make sure and speak up if something happens that you don't understand, Mr. Hegs. I have some preliminary questions to ask you first, however. Are you now under the influence of any intoxicants like alcohol, drugs, narcotics, or prescription medications?
No, sir.
Is your mind clear today?
Yes, sir.
Do you know where you are and what you were doing?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand the court does not have to accept either of these two sentence recommendations? Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Other than the sentence recommendation that's been made by the state and what your attorney is going to present to the court, has anyone promised you anything to get you to make these admissions today?
No, sir.
Has anyone threatened you or frightened you to force you to make these admissions?
No, sir.
According to the petition, your original sentences were dated November 21st, 2019, at which time you received a 30-year sentence on one case with a bunch of conditions and 13 years on another case. So your expiration dates are November 2020, 49 and November 2020, 29. Do you understand that, Mr. Hegs?
Yes, sir.
And you also understand that instead of agreeing to modify your probation as you're doing now, that you have the right to demand a formal hearing before this court in which the state must prove that you have violated these violations by what is called a preponderance of the evidence, which means more likely than not. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
If you demand such a formal probation modification hearing, Georgia law guarantees you the right to confront and question all witnesses who testify against you. You have the right to subpoena your own witnesses and evidence in your behalf, and to offer these witnesses and evidence at the hearing. You have the right to the continued assistance of your lawyer at all stages of the hearing. You have the right to testify yourself if you wanted to, and the right not to incriminate yourself. You may testify or not, and you personally will decide if you testified or not. If you do not testify, which is your right under Georgia law, then the court cannot use that decision against you in any way. Mr. Hegs, do you understand that by making these admissions today to these factual allegations, you are agreeing to give up this formal hearing and all of these rights? Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Now, you're represented here today by Ms. Carr, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Have you had enough time to talk to her about these two cases?
Yes, sir.
Do you need any more time to talk to Ms. Carr?
No, sir.
Do you have any objections about how your case has been handled up to this point?
No, sir.
As to the factual allegations, Mr. Hegs, do you freely and voluntarily admit the facts about how you violated the terms and conditions of your probation as set out in the, well, is it just one count? Yeah, do you admit the factual allegations set out in this petition about violations of the general conditions? Do you make those admissions today, Mr. Hegs?
Yes, sir.
Do you, is that a yes?
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't quite hear you. All right, Mr. Hegs, do you have any questions about anything that's happened so far before we get into the argument about the sentence?
No, sir.
It's coming, Michael. I know everybody's bored. It's coming. It's coming. Don't worry. I have a question. All right. Let's just hypothetically say that right now Lancaster is hiring a bunch of court reporters for remote work. $29 an hour, which is fine. It comes with a lot of benefits. That comes with health insurance, which is what I need. I need health insurance, right? So let's just say I'm interested in that job. Am I still allowed to have this YouTube channel if I'm a court reporter? Or am I not allowed to?
All right. Ms. Moorhead, what is the state's position?
Your Honor, the docket that we actually withdrew the petition on, case number 22 CR 136, is the newest conviction that Mr. Hegs has. We had actually requested from the court that he be confined at the Washington County Jail for 3 years with a type C sentence, which is not something we do very often. And in return for that sentence is when he picked up these new charges while he was in custody at the Washington County Jail, is when he picked up these new charges for bringing in contraband to the county jail, which is why we are not entertaining county time anymore. And we are asking for 2 years in prison at this time.
Just on these revocations?
Your Honor, and I would entertain a possible wrap up with his newest charges.
It's still pending?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I got you.
Right.
All right, Ms. Carr, go ahead.
Okay, so just for the timeline here and to understand why we're asking for 1 year. I pled a sale charge in 2024 that happened in 2022. It's the one that they're talking about here, 7/26/2022. Okay, so I pled that in 2024. And the reason why we're not having that petition is because these occurrences happened with that sale of 7/26/2022, and they also happened in January 6, 2023. So these violations happened before he was on sentence for that one in 2024. You think the date is wrong? Okay, so if the date is wrong, then my whole argument kind of loses, you know. But my point is that all of this stuff happened before I did the last plea. that I did for him in 2024, which should have wrapped up everything. He had already been in county for a year. He was currently under a sentence where he had 2 more years, maybe under a state sentence to go. So we agreed that it would be 3 years at county. He's now finished 2 years of that. He's got 1 year left. I can understand why county would not want him there if he has indeed, brought in contraband. I mean, that is very much a violation and a cause for concern and safety within the county jail system. But that's why we're asking for 1 year in GDC custody, because it would go more in line, because I had believed that these things had all happened before I did the other plea. Now, as far as a wrap-up goes, I mean, I guess if it does 2023, we can date back credit time served from there, but we could do that at a later time. It was a whole nother issue with that. If that makes any sense.
All right.
I'm
Well,
trying
it
to-
does. All right. Mr. Heggs, do you have any questions about?
I don't see how it would make a difference any way, shape, or form, because it's not like a court reporter has any bearing on any part of any case or any trial. If the judge didn't say, do you have to change your paper? Sorry, that's an OJ thing. No one even knows. Hold on. Please tell you guys are gonna rewind it. Don't rewind it. Don't rewind it. Don't cheat. Just tell me what color shirt the court reporter has on right now. Don't rewind it. Stop rewinding. Just type it in. What color is her hair? Is it a her? So it doesn't matter. I mean, it's not like I could affect cases. What is that? What are we looking at? Or where is that, I should say? Nope. Well, black hair, not brunette. Brown shirt, not white. No, I think it's a place. I think these are waves in water. I guess I could be wrong. I don't know. Maybe I'm way wrong. Maybe it's like an ultra close up of a leaf or something. Who knows? Who knows? I guess it's supposed to say somewhere. Isn't it supposed to say somewhere on my desktop? If you like this picture, I don't see it though. I don't see what I can find out. Oh, wait. I do know how to find out. Why can't you just let me search? All right. It's taking me the long way. You like the doctor went, but that's fine. The long way. Save. Save as thumbnail to. Save. Yes. Upload file. Oh my gosh, look, it's Marble. Look at Kelly go. Look at Donald go. Look at JK go. JK. Carlos. Tona. CJ. Everybody else knew it was Marble but me. I thought they were waves in water. Wait. That is the exact picture we're looking at. Most of the Caribbean's water moves. This is exactly this is the exact picture we're looking at. It's water. All right, what am I doing? Where was I? All right, Maiko, now that we lost track of what's going on, let's go. Pegleg is here. He's just, Pegleg, you're just the person that could answer that. Hold on, guys. Hold on. If it isn't forbidden by contract, like they would have to literally say in their contract, you may not live stream other court dockets. Just don't cover. Okay, you don't have to know shorthand for this. It says state notary. Okay, I'm not a notary right now, but I was a notary in the past, so that's easy. Possessor have the ability to obtain certification or state licensure. I have so many certifications, I have them coming out my ass. So I can get this one. This one can't be harder than my Microsoft certification. Familiarity or willingness to learn about U.S. civil procedures. I think I'm good with that. Civil. It's not criminal, though. Possessor be willing to acquire digital reporting equipment. I shall acquire the equipment. Who am I replacing? Where does the lady live that I'm replacing? I shall acquire my equipment. Comfortable moderating live legal proceedings. Guys, that's easy. Easy. Oh, shit. Now I'm in trouble. Fluent in English, speaking, reading, and writing. Strong technology skills, especially typing. Punctuality. Oh, no. Hold on. But it's sort of like I would work for them and I would get all this, I would get all the benefits and everything. But I could also work for myself and, charge whatever I charge. All these places charge exactly $29 an hour. So, they're also hiring an official court reporter for the courthouse. Interesting. Thank you, Pegleg. All right. Can you speak into a cup, though, that doesn't hold beer? Look, there's no reason why there's no beer in there. I could put beer in my cup. You don't know me. Can you stay in the corner and be silent? I was a computer programmer for a long time. I went days without saying a word to anybody. I might have went weeks without saying one word to anybody. I would walk into work. I would sit down. If I said hi to someone, it was always through email or text or something. Yeah, I can absolutely just sit there and do my work and not talk to anybody. That's why I have my night job. That's why I'm in the bar. I could talk to people then. All right, let's get to this one sentence. It's almost there, Micah. Almost.
Anything that has happened up to this point?
No, sir.
All right. Well, most of the time on probation revocation or modification cases, I do ask the defendant if they want to say anything, but now there's another case pending, so I'm not going to do that. So I'm just going to keep it to the questions. Do you understand everything that has happened and been said up to this point today?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any questions about anything that's happened up to this point?
No, sir.
Court finds, first of all, that Mr. Hegs has made a knowing, intelligent, and voluntary decision to give up his right to a formal probation, revocation, or modification hearing. The court does accept his stipulation as a factual basis for the petition.
What do you need a verdict for? You weren't listening to the whole first part. What is he charged with? Does anybody know? Nobody, right? Nothing.
And now to the disposition, Mr. Hegs. Now, of course, I don't know anything about the underlying sentences. I'm just filling in today for Judge Reeves. I'm just thumbing through the file.
Michael, did you hear what he said? Do you want me to rewind it? I'm going back 10 seconds, guys. I can't help it. Here we go. If you weren't paying attention, Michael, here it is.
I'm just filling in today for Judge Reeves.
Okay, but why? Why is he sick? Is he on vacation? Is he hurt? Is he laid up in the hospital somewhere? What happened to Judge Reeves? Give us more information. You can't just drop that huge bomb in the middle of this super exciting case and then just move on like nothing happened. What's wrong with Judge Reeves?
I'm just thumbing through the file. Apparently it was Judge Reeves that entered the original sentences, or at least on the 19 case anyway. 2019 cases, I'm sorry. So I don't know anything about that. Now, I don't want you to think I'm just sitting up here throwing a bunch of rocks at you, Mr. Hegs.
Thank you, Pegleg. Thank you so much.
My God, you've got a long time. You do understand that?
Yes, sir.
On both cases. Just one is way longer than the other one. And I understand precisely what Ms. Carr is arguing to the court. And before I took this job, I sat out there too, did the exact same thing, and it makes perfect sense. I just disagree with it. And I'm going to accept the recommendation of the state. The easy solution for you, Mr. Hegs, is quit violating your probation. And then you won't have these problems. So I'm going to accept the recommendation of the state, going to revoke 2 years to serve with the Georgia Department of Corrections, and upon release, return you to active supervision. That was it. That was the extent of the recommendation.
Yes, Your Honor, and I do want to clarify that even though he's under a type C sentence for the newest charge, these would not be type C. So he would be eligible for parole on those 2 years.
I understand. Well, I presume that's why it's 2 years instead of revoke the balance. I mean, I understand all that. All right, Mr. Hegs, that concludes your sentence. You remanded back to the custody of the sheriff for execution. Good luck to you, sir.
Your Honor.
I'm gonna get you a
Hello, how you doing today, ma'am? I'm doing very good.
Okay, I got one more. I got one more very short video before it's over. And absolutely nothing crazy happens in this video. Hold on, I got to get these messages off the screen before I can show the video, because the video is all about the best shirt ever. He has the best shirt ever on. When I saw him and I saw his shirt, I knew this was a Court Vibes video right away.
You've been charged with the offense of displaying a fictitious license plate. You have the right to be represented by a lawyer in the trial of this charge. If you're too poor to hire your own lawyer, you may ask that a lawyer be appointed for you. You have the right to have a lawyer present before and during any interview by peace officers or lawyers representing the state. You have the right to remain silent. Of course, you're not required to make any statement. However, any statements you make can and may be used against you in court. You have the right to stop any interview at any time. Your bail in this matter is set at $1,500. Now then, if you
$1,500. Check.
if you want to ask the court to appoint a lawyer, you must complete a request for a lawyer form and
Who else is waiting for him to scream parkour?
an affidavit or sworn statement regarding your property, income, and expenses. Your request is forwarded within 24 hours to a judge who has authority to determine if you qualify to have a lawyer appointed. That judge is required to make that determination within 3 days of the date he or she receives that request and affidavit. If a lawyer is appointed, you will be provided the lawyer's name, address, and a telephone number. The lawyer will be notified, and he or she is required to contact you by the end of the next working day after he or she receives that notice. If your request is denied for any reason, you'll be notified of that within 3 days as well. Now then, first of all, sir, do you have any questions about any of these rights I've just read to you?
No, sir.
Do you understand them?
Yes, sir.
Sir, do you either qualify that you are without means to hire a lawyer and you ask that one be appointed, or you do not want to ask for a lawyer at this time, or you will hire your own lawyer?
At the moment, I do not want to ask for a lawyer, Your Honor.
Okay. They'll check that box. With that, sir, that's all that I have for you. You'll go with the jailer and they'll take care of you from here, okay?
All right.
Sir, good luck to you.
Good luck, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Good luck.
Yeah.
I know my address.
I mean, I know my address. It is, you said my bail was posted at 1,500, Your Honor?
Yes, sir.
Is that, something I'm just gonna go through a bondsman or something to, post bond, or?
You can talk to the jailer. You can do that through a bondsman, or you can post a cash bond where you put up to $1,500.
Okay, yes, Your Honor.
That man walked into my bar, I would have a fantastic night. I would be talking to him and only him all night long. I want to hear stories. I want to hear those stories that he has. Yep. I would know everything about him by the time he left my bar. Every little thing. Oh, all right. I'm not going to go straight into OJ because I need a few minutes. I want to get a short or two ready from this stream if I can. Nothing really exciting happened. I would drink it, JK. Hell yeah, I would drink it with him. So I'm going to do OJ in a few minutes. People aren't usually ready till like 10 after 6 anyways. So thank you so much for coming out, guys. I really appreciate it. I shall see you again real soon. I hope you guys have a great day. All right. Bye, guys.
Got these life echoes, digital dreams. Through the screen, her blue eyes gleam. Wicked humor, sharp as a knife. Her stream sparks electric light. Late night when the world sleeps, she's the friend that always keeps. Giggles roll like thunder loud. She stands out in any crowd. Kathy's laugh cuts through the gloom. Eyes blue like a summer's bloom. Her humor dark and twisted sharp. In a way, there's no alarm. Dreaming tales late into the night. Her laughter feels just right. Even when my world turns gray, with a giggle, she lights the way. Her eyes hear a sky so blue. In her jokes, there's a truth so true. With each stream, she brings the light. Turns dark days into bright. Kathy's laugh cuts through the gloom. Eyes blue like a summer's bloom. Her humor dark and twisted sharp. In a way, there's no alarm. Streaming tales late into the night. Her laughter feels just right. Even when my world turns gray, with a giggle, she lights the way. Kathy's laugh cuts through the gloom. Eyes blue like a summer's bloom. Her humor dark and twisted sharp. In a way, there's no